Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. Just coming back again with this Hunkydory Humour collection. This is the one called Happy Day of Birth. And why they didn't just call it Happy Birthday, I don't know, because it doesn't sort of relate to Happy Day of your birth anywhere on here. So, but I just thought that was a bit funny. But this one, we've got the this is the topper that was made for me. On your very special day, I think it's important to say, save me some cake. I just believe you can't have a birthday without cake. You can do without presents, but it has to be a cake for it to be a birthday. There's this one, by some absolute miracle I remembered, happy birthday. Those three special words, happy birthday loser, and then hooray, time for your obligatory annual card from me. And then you've obviously got some little sub-sentiments that are funny as well. So from the, I think it's Happy Days foiled edge to edge cardstock. I picked this one because it matches the background with that one. So that's why I've pulled those out. I am going to be using these, and I'm also going to be using and some more from my Duo Design paper pads as well, because I think too much foiling sort of detracts from the actual sentiment itself in some cases. But that's where we are. To start, what I have done is cut a 5x7 card blank, and I've put an extra piece of card in because I want to make a step for it. So I'm going to cut this to 5 inches. That's the width we've got, and then 1.5. I'm going to have a 1.5 inch step, so I need that twice, which is going to be 3, and then 1/2 inch just to glue that together. So those are the pieces for my card. So let's bring in my little scoreboard just to do that step. So I'm just putting that with the short edge at the top, so it only goes up to 3.5. And then I'm going to score at 1.5 and at 3. So that's going to be my little glue tab there. Down. And then we're going to have our little mounting board. Let me bring this up a little back in, just as a nice edge. And then we're going to have our little valley at the bottom. This is the one I can say that we're going to attach that to the bottom of our card with. So if I bring in my red liner tape and some scissors, I'm just going to pop this on to the bottom there. Just give that a good press down, just makes it easier to get the back off. And then if I make sure I've got my card the right way up, because I am having a 10-fold card. And I'm just going to put that down. So what I did was just butted that up to the bottom and then folded that tab over. And then that's going to give me that nice little step there. And let me just give that a good burnish down, keep that nice and sharp. There we go. If I put it that way, you can see that's the way that's going to go. So let's bring in my trimmer. Let's start doing some mats. And of course this is 5x7, so instead of using the 6x6 mirror mats, what I'm going to do is use a piece of A4 gold mirror, and the foiling on all of them I think is gold, so that's why I've decided to use that. So I'm going to start by cutting this at 2 notches under the 5, and then 2 notches under the 7. That's going to be my front piece, and I think this is probably going to be too small. No, we might get away with it. Let's grab a bit of tape just to make sure it stays straight when we're cutting. So it needs to be 1.5 minus 2 notches. So you can see how close that was. Just taking that little slither off. And I'm just going to check. Fits quite nicely on there, and it does. Okay. So for the bottom piece, what I want to do is I'm going to start by cutting this down at 5 3/4. Just because that's the size that I'm going to need for my normal cards, but I only want the bit for the step, so I'm going to go 1 1/4. Just take this piece off there, and then I can cut that down to 4 3/4. Hopefully that should be nice and straight, and bring that in. My hands weren't so dry. There we go, so we've got that bit coming in. And then for this top piece, what I am going to do is bring in the Glittertastic and Pastel Ombre, and I'm going to go to the pink side. Here we go. I'm thinking I'm probably going to go with this one rather than the glitter. This glitter side, this is the sort of more pastel ombre side, and I'm going to start by cutting that down. Actually, let's go that way around. 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And that should fit quite nicely onto our mirror mat. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is take the longer piece here, and I'm going to take one strip, which is going to be 1/4 inch. So I don't want to take too much off, because I want to try and keep it so that I can use it on my card without it being too much, but I do, you know, want it to match in with what I've been doing, what I'm going to be doing. And then this one, I think I'm going to do 1/2 inch. Okay. So I'm hoping I'm going to get 2 maybe out of that one, but we'll see how it goes. So let's start by gluing this onto here. Now the glues I'm going to be using today, they're the usual ones I use. Clout All Purpose in that one, which is the clear glue, alcohol based, and then I've got the Cloud Tacky Glue in this white container. I am also, because I'm using the paper, I am going to be using the Hunkydory Dots tape pen. This is the permanent one, and that's purely because the papers I find don't react very well to the water in the white glue, in the PVA type glue, or the tacky glues. They are fine with these alcohol glues. But what I like to do is just have those dots on the corner, just make sure it stays in position while I am working through the next layer, while still giving me that little bit of wiggle room time. So give that a good smooth down. Okay, and then what I was thinking of doing, let me bring that topper out. I'll bring this one out, although I'm not going to use it on this card, but I do want this border. Let me change my mind about and swap things around. We'll see how it looks once it's on the card. My original plan was to put that along the bottom, but like I say, I might change my mind on that and then have that on there instead. But let's see. So the plan was to have 2 of our purple ones going across. We're going to have this one in the middle. Obviously we'll have our step coming across there, which is going to punch that colour in there. We could mix things up a little bit and have only here for the cake. Like so. Yeah, I think we'll put that on there. My original plan for that was to save that and put a little brooch back on it so that it could be worn like a badge or a pin. I just think that is something I would wear at a party. Please cake me up. That's the only reason I'm there. I don't like going out. I'm not a mixer. Okay, so what I'm also going to do, I'll just keep that to the side. Bring my trimmer back in. Just think those ends are going to look better if they've got a bit of gold on them. So I'm just going to do a piece that's going to be 2 notches over the 1/4 inch and 2 notches over the 1/2 inch, which is just going to give me a nice border. And obviously that sentiment's already got the gold border on it, so it means everything is going to come together rather nicely. So let's get those glued on first of all. And just from experience of gluing these yesterday, I found it was better to use my dotty tape pen on these. Just seemed to glue a lot faster than waiting for the other glues to go off, and then it kept popping off my gold, which was annoying. So we've got that piece on there. I'm going to do the same on here. And like I said yesterday was the first time I've actually using this glue runner on making cards, but it's really nice to hold in the hand. It feels really nice. Put that on. And we'll just snip that off. That one will tidy up nearer the time, but there's a bit of glue on that and I didn't want that to stick to the desk. Okay, so I'm going to leave that in a second. We will do those bits ready. But first of all, I can go ahead and pop these on. So my usual glue is going to be the all-purpose with some tacky in the corners, just to take away some of that drying time so that I can move on confidently, knowing that it's not going to move about on me. Nothing worse than something moving and then you sort of don't notice, and then when you go back in it's stuck at a wonky angle, which is great if you want a wonky angle, but I'll try and avoid it today. Just want my wonky angle on my card instead, or on the main piece. So that's going on. I'm going to put that to the side and we'll let that set. Okay, now these ones I am going to glue flat. Now let's see, so we could go, let's just play around with these a little bit. Or we could I think it does need to go through, but I think it needs maybe a slightly different angle. Let's try that. And that. And then we can have our gems splattered about. Okay, so that's looking good. So again, I'm going to use these dots. It's the quickest way to get them onto the paper. Just lift that one up a little bit. I don't think it matters how far apart they are, it's just we really want them to be sort of equal distance on the three. I'm just going for probably about 2 millimeters. Just a little more on there. I'm going to go like that. And I can turn those over from the back and just snip those nice and straight. Just move all of those out of the way. Okay, so that's where we've got our piece here. So now we can come in and glue this down using our normal glues. I'm just wondering if I've got any brown gems. Like so. Good press down. And then this one, I'm going to use some 1mm foam pads. Just so I can make sure I get that how I want it to be. No, we don't want it upside down. And I'm putting it just high enough so you could hear, you read this where it says here for the cake. Okay, that's, I think that's straight. And then we've got that little one. So you could still put it on a little badge, a little pin brooch back, and then stick it onto here so that it could be detached. Again, these are the 1mm foam pads. I'm going to pop that onto there. And then it's going to be a case of gems. Now, have I got any brown ones? Got some yellowy ones. The nearest thing maybe some sepia ones. Oh, we've got some lovely brown pearls, brown gold. Oh, I think they're going to win. They are definitely going to be for the win. Alright, I'm going to go with these ones here. And I think what I'm going to do is just do random spacings. So I need that up because I need to see where they are going to be. So let's just go, if I don't press too hard, I'm probably going to be able to just rearrange them if I'm not quite happy. Come on. Just come off the stickies and that's perfect. one there, and we need one extra one. Maybe there. Looks like a different colour. That's because it is. So look at that. Yeah, I'm quite liking that. It fills that space quite nicely. Right, so let's just give those a good press down and then find that one that needed some glue. Just going to pop that back on and up, and that is going to be my card number 1. Nice and easy, just using little bits really. So all those little bits that are left over from this foiled cardstock, you can see it's really easy just to bring those in. But I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for my second card, I'm going to be using a normal 6x6. I'm going to be using this by some absolute miracle. I remembered Happy Birthday Topper. Now, I kind of felt that on the foiled, it looks gorgeous, but it doesn't stand out as much. So I really want to make that really stand out. So that's just a piece of 6x12 that I folded down. So let's get started on some layers. So I've got a piece of a 6x6 Miri Matte Gold in the 6x6, like I said. And I'm just going to take a little bit off each side, just the 2 notches like I usually do. Just because personally I like to see that little bit of white. Just adds another like layer to my card, which I actually like. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to start to cut this at 5 3/4, and then I'm going to turn that around and I'm going to cut 2 pieces actually. Let's cut that at 5 3/4 that way as well, just because I want the orientation of it going down. So, and I'm going to cut this to, let's go 1.5. I'll be generous. Probably would get away with 1 1/4 if you really wanted to save some card, but I'm just going to do 2 pieces of that. So we've still got 2 decent pieces left out of that, and every piece really does add up on these type of cards. So that is going to fit nicely onto our ends like so. And then I'm going to bring in some black glitter card, and I'm going to cut this at 4 inches. Now I'm not going to cut it at 2 notches under 4 inches. And that needs to be at 5 3/4. And then I am going to I'll take another Miri Matte actually, just because it's easiest. And this one I'm going to cut up 5 3/4. And then I'm going to cut that down to 4 inches. Just to put a mat behind that piece there. And it's going to go top to bottom like so. So there's not going to be there's already going to be gold at the top from the edge there, so that's why I've done that way. Okay, let's bring our pieces in. And I'm going to start with my usual glues, so I'll go with that all-purpose. A little bit of tacky in those corners. Now if you didn't want to use gold behind the black, again here, I think it looks better with it, but if you wanted to use something like ribbon or a peel off to hide the join, you definitely could do that. Just making sure I've got those little cakes the right way up. Pop those in. That's looking good. And then this piece here, tack your glue again on each of these corners, go right up to the top and just leave a nice even border on each side, like so. So just go over a tiny bit, I think that's fine. And then this is going to come onto here. I'm not quite sure. Well, I think I do know why my cardstock's curling. It's because the weather's, it's been such a cold temperature here. And I'll put the heating on today because it's absolutely freezing. So this is going just across the middle. So already you've got that sort of elegant look coming through. Just making sure that's nicely up to the top. And then because I'm not using ribbon or anything like that, what I can then do is go ahead and pop this straight onto my card blank. And I've sort of been really enjoying playing with this kit because it's, I've been looking through things I have. There is in my stash some lovely black embossed card. I think it must have come as an adorable scoreable pattern pack, but I didn't want to use it because it's not something you can still buy. You're probably going to see it on some of my other samples maybe when I make up other ones of these, but yeah, I thought for the video I'm just going to keep it with things that are quite easily available to you. Just giving those still, this is what I mean about this, such a long sort of period of time that you get to move that around. So just fiddling with that till I'm happy. Now I've got choices with this next piece because obviously this is going to go on here, so that's not a choice. But then we have got, where's my scissors gone? We've got this Remind Me Next Time border. And we also, it's fighting this one, isn't it? We've got this Remind Me Next Time border. We've also got this Don't Get Used to This. So I was thinking perhaps pop that on there and then maybe put that on the inside as an extra little bit. Right, let's just tidy those pips up a little bit. And then I can have some black gems on there, maybe some white or cream gems if I've got any on this black glitter piece. Okay, that is the plan. So let's grab some foam pads. Let's use these Hunkydory ones that I found yesterday. No rhyme or reason as to what pads I use, it's just what's to my hand when I'm doing these. These are again are 1mm, and I have been pretty much staying with 1 or 2mm pads. Much as I love the thicker pads, it's just easier to get them in an envelope, and I know it's easier for me to get them to a charity if I do it that way. So I've got I've got 2 boxes filled with Christmas cards, and I've got another box of everyday cards that's not quite, I've got to find a box for, but they're currently in one of my crates at the moment. And because it was just so difficult to get them up to the charity in Harrogate, I know they've had 400 last time. Well, it might have been over 400 actually, because there was some older ones in there as well. What I decided to do is just try and stay more local. So I've got a lady coming tomorrow, and she's actually going to be from the Cats Protection League. So she is going to collect these 3 boxes. Let's get that a little bit there. And also when I was sorting out upstairs, actually I was sorting out the cupboard as well before that, I have 2 boxes of papers, things that we've had, me and Mum, you know, since we started crafting really. And then like, some of the papers, they're lovely, they're all sort of pearlescent and patterned and things, but I'm just never going to use them. I have still got an awful lot of scrapbook paper, which I really probably should think about moving on, but a lot of it, although some of it is just generic that's come with something else, but a lot of it is papers that I've hand picked for a specific reason. So I'm just finding it really hard to part with them at the moment. And I've got like half a box of I don't know if any of you guys remember the old coordinations where you could sand it back and there'd be a colour underneath. It used to be on QVC back in the day when I first started crafting. Not sure if that's all together straight. Let's have a look. That's not too bad. So I've got that on the inside. So now we just need gems. Yeah, so I don't want to get rid of it because you can't actually get it anymore, which is a bit of a shame. Oh, I think that will do quite nicely. So we've got some shimmer gold and shimmer silver. Okay, and there's some old die cuts with a view. I don't think they are around anymore either. I haven't seen any new stuff anyway, that's for sure. But their papers were always fabulous. I mean, honestly, I've got a couple of their albums that I bought, like the Once Upon a Time, and I was working through, and the Rock Star, and all these sort of lovely papers they did. So I can't get rid of those. And then there's some that I picked out specially because of a certain process on it. Like there's some with like fuzz, you know, like the fuzzy felt sort of feel. Flock, that's what they're calling it these days. 2, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. So we need 2 more. And we go. One and 2, yeah. So, and also foiling or embossing, some lovely papers that I always felt were too nice to use, but I really must use. But it's hard to push yourself to. But that is my second card. So nice easy cards. I think that was only taken about 12 minutes. So really simple, and out of that foiled sheet you've still got quite a lot of it left on there just by cutting those edges off. And obviously we've got most of that purple one as well. So let me bring in card number 1. So 2 quite different looking cards really. This one a little bit more masculine I feel, even though you've got that glitter on there. It's not too in your face glitter. And this one with the pink feels a bit more girly, the pink and purple, but I suppose it could be masculine as well. But that is it for today. So I'm going to come back again with this kit because I think There are 8 different toppers, so come back with all of them, get cards made on all of them. I will make cards up with the 2 remaining toppers in the meantime, so hopefully they'll be on my Pinterest either today or tomorrow evening. If not the very latest, they'll go up at the same time as I do these my next video. But thank you so much for watching. As always, I really do appreciate all of your support, and thank you so much for the lovely messages welcoming me back and saying that you'd miss me. I do miss you. I miss doing this because it really just clears my head to sort of sit and craft, and I've got that benefit of knowing that I've not just, because I seem to have 3 hobbies. I don't know if you guys are the same, but I do make cards. That's my first hobby. I like to buy craft stuff. That's my second hobby. And then my third hobby is I like to watch people making things or crafting. So, you know, by doing the videos, I am using my stash up, and also it's going to a good cause. So, you know, or good causes. So that's a real plus point for me. So, I really do miss not, you know, when I don't make the videos. But I should be good now all the way, touch wood, up to Christmas, and hopefully we'll get a nice lot of crafting done over Christmas as well, get all the old Christmas kits out, have a bit of fun with those. But that's a long way off. We are only at the beginning of October, so plenty of craft in the meantime. But like I say, thanks again for watching. Catch you next time. Until then, happy crafting. Bye.